The Battle of Hlobane, March 28, 1879. Between thunder and stone, the Zulu ambush on the Mountain of Blood. A storm was coming. Over the jagged cliffs of Hlobane, thunder rolled like drums of war. Lightning tore across the blackened sky, and the wind howled through the rocks like the cries of lost souls. On that cursed day, hundreds of British horsemen found themselves trapped between heaven and earth, between steel and flame, as the spirits of the Zulu ancestors rose to strike.
Part 1. The War Before the Mountain.
The Anglo-Zulu War of 1879 had already become a nightmare for the British Empire. At Asanlawana, an entire regiment, one of the empire's finest, was annihilated in a single morning. At Intoom, a platoon vanished into the mist, leaving only rifles scattered by the riverbank. At Inyazan, the Zulus struck from the hills, turning green slopes into rivers of blood. Each defeat burned deeper into British pride. The humiliation was unbearable. Now, vengeance would come, swift and merciless. Colonel Evelyn Wood gave the order. We strike at their heart. If Hlobane falls, the Zulu spirit will fall with it. But Hlobane was more than a fortress. To the Zulu, it was sacred ground, a mountain where the spirits of their ancestors dwelled. And anyone who dared set foot upon it would pay in blood.
Part 2. The Ascent into the Storm.
Dawn, March 28, 1879. The sky was black with thunderclouds. Rain poured over the rocky slopes like a curtain of steel. Two British columns advanced, one under Colonel Wood, the other led by Major Redvers Buller and his mounted troops. The horses snorted nervously, hooves clattered on wet stone. A young trooper, barely 19, called out through the rain.
"Sir, are we riding into hell?"
Buller glanced back, his voice steady. "No, lad, hell's waiting up there." The plan was simple: strike fast, burn the Zulu stronghold, and withdraw before reinforcements could arrive. But the Zulus already knew. Hidden among the rocks, they waited, silent as the storm itself.
Part 3. The Trap Springs.
By noon, the mountain trembled with thunder. Lightning flashed, and with it came the sound that froze every heart. The deep, rhythmic beat of war drums. Ngoma. The echoes rolled through the mist like the heartbeat of the mountain. Then came the cries, fierce, haunting. Usuthu, Usuthu. From every direction, Zulu warriors emerged, thousands of them. Faces painted, bodies glistening in the rain, shields of ox hide gleaming under lightning. Zulu, Zulu all around, a soldier screamed. Buller shouted orders, rifles cracked through the downpour. But the powder was soaked, and many guns misfired. The narrow mountain paths offered no room to maneuver. The Zulus charged downhill like a living flood. Spears clashed against sabers. The air filled with screams, smoke, and thunder. Blood mixed with rain, spilling down the slopes. A group of British riders tried to retreat, only to find the path behind them gone, swallowed by the cliffs. Some turned their horses toward the edge, and left. Their cries vanished into the wind. On the summit, a Zulu warrior raised a blood-stained spear to the sky and shouted, "Our ancestors smile upon us today."
Part 4. Buller's Escape.
Amid the chaos, Major Buller did not flee. He turned his horse straight into the storm of spears. Once, he rode back to save a wounded man. Again, to pull a flag bearer from the rocks. A third time, to rescue a rider pinned beneath his fallen horse. Each time, he fought through rain and blood, firing his revolver with one hand and steering with the other. A spear grazed his shoulder, but he didn't stop. "As long as one man breathes, I'll go back for him," he roared. When he finally broke free, only a third of his men remained. Behind them, Hlobane burned, tents, wagons, and bodies scattered among the stones. The Zulus danced in victory, chanting to the storm. On Hlobane, the blood of the invaders will feed the earth forever.
Part 5, Aftermath and Legacy.
The Battle of Hlobane ended in disaster. More than 200 British soldiers were killed, along with hundreds of horses and supplies lost. Buller was later awarded the Victoria Cross for his bravery. But he never spoke proudly of it. He simply said, "I was no hero, I merely survived a storm from hell." From a distance, Colonel Wood watched the smoke rise over Hlobane. He swore that the blood spilled that day would not be in vain. And so, the very next day, March 29, 1879, he struck back at the Zulus in a new battle, Kambula. A battle that would decide the fate of the entire war.
The end.
Hlobane, the mountain where thunder met blood, where courage turned to tragedy, and revenge ignited the flames of an empire. It was the fifth major clash of the Anglo-Zulu War. Asandlawana, Rorke's Drift, Entombed, Inyazon, Hlobane. Please watch the next one. The Battle of Kambula, the 29th of March 1879. Where the British returned, stronger, deadlier, and the war reached its fiercest, most epic, most horrifying climax.